I'm at work and I'm going through a bunch of damn near 88 texts from me and a young lady who I've been taking out, spending time with, good conversation, getting to know her, and it was a false alarm.
The caption of this video reads, she invited me to dinner at her house, but wanted me to pay for food she was going to purchase.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
When I say false alarm, she invited me finally to her home. Mind you, I've been taking her to dinner, movies, bowling, all on my dime. I've been trying to put in that work to get to know her.
Right.
Not pressuring her, just networking, getting to know her. And she invited me to her home, so I'm like, okay, cool. She says, would you like dinner? She said, I'm gonna make you dinner. I said, okay, cool. That's cool. She told me, what time would you like to have dinner? I said, I get off at 6. And she said, meet me at Kroger. I'm gonna be around, I'm be in that area, and Kroger's right off the strip where my job is. So I said, cool.
Okay.
I meet at Kroger, and I'm thinking she probably want me to come there, pick out a bottle of wine, even though I don't drink, or something to that extent. So she's not at Kroger. She's in a handicap spot, right? So, in a nutshell, I tap on her window. I was like, what's going on, babe? She's like, get a shopping cart. We get a shopping cart. She puts some alcohol on it, whatever. And she's pushing it. And she was like, what do you got a taste for? I was like, anything, some steak. I haven't had steak all year.
Right.
So we had got some T-bone steaks. They were like $28 a piece. So she bought 2 of them. She got some baked potatoes. She got some carrots, and what else she get? Some asparagus. And she got some other little necessities. She's like, you want any dessert? I said, nah. But she got an apple pie for herself. So now we ringing all the stuff together, and it comes to, matter of fact, she got all these seasoning. It comes to $72, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at me. I tell you no lie. She looks at me while we're in the express lane.
I don't know if I think I know where this is going, but I'm not sure.
And I say, oh, you want to use my Kroger card? She's like, no, stupid. I got my own Kroger card. So she take her Kroger card out. She said, you're not going to pay for it? I tell you no lie. My voice is still gone. I looked at this woman in her eye, and I walked away. I didn't say no. I didn't say yeah. I just walked away. I'm not even going to ask you, was I wrong? Because God's my witness. I know I wasn't wrong. You didn't tell me you wanted me to pay for the food. You just said you was going to make me dinner.
Right.
This dating situation.
Okay. There you go. There you have it. Shoot away. I'm curious. This is one I'll definitely be reading the comments. Think about this for a little bit. Before I say anything, I have my thoughts, of course. Let's see what people have to say. Top comment here says, I would have paid for the food. Oh, really? That's interesting. Told her I'll pass on dinner. Okay. But you enjoy it. And it was nice knowing you. Interesting. You see, this makes a lot of sense because when I click on this man's profile, yeah, that's that gentlemanly, old school, which, by the way, with all respect, Mr. Brent, I get it. Not shooting it down. That's how he gets down. And that's that old school, I'm still going to be a gentleman and pay for these bills. Unfortunately, though, today, we're serving coffee. We're serving coffee to these modern women. Somebody else here, this is a chick. She says, dinner should have been ready. She invited him. Ooh, the women in this comment section are serving some espresso for sure. Shout out to this chick. Somebody's responding back to her and says, what you're saying didn't seem to be his issue. He didn't understand why he had to pay for the groceries. So she then responds back and says, he shouldn't even have to go to the store. Wow. Who's this wonderful, obviously beautiful woman here? If she needed help, she goes on to say, she should have told him beforehand. Sounds like lack of communication. Shout out to Rosie. Somebody else who says, wow, date you an older woman. We already got a freezer full of food. You know, I think it's how you go about it that matters. And men aren't really game goofy to the extent, especially if the older a dude is. Nowadays, they're very keen and open to a woman who's always trying to get you to come out of your wallet. Now more than ever, men understand that they're susceptible to that. With that being said, in a different circumstance, the dude doesn't even sound like he had any problem at all paying for a date, for meals. But yeah, the way she went about that, and it seemed a bit sleazy and probably would rub most men the wrong way. This chick says, maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but asking somebody over for dinner means you are providing the food and cooking. And it should be ready when you show up. Right. These chicks today just don't get it. Chances are she's looking for a provider. And what's funny is even if you want a provider, that provider wants to know that in case of a moment where you can spend a little bit of money, that it's not an impossible mission. Even a man with means wants to be treated once in a while. In fact, I would say for a man who treated her on dates, so on and so forth, probably means a little bit more. It means more to that man. Somebody else who says, if I invite, I pay. Another chick who says, these people in these comments are crazy. If you invite someone to your home for dinner, you pay for the food. She's saying these people in these comments are crazy. I don't see people disagreeing. I see even the chicks here actually drinking coffee. This is great. You were not wrong. Glad you walked away. Somebody else here added, I don't see an issue with her asking. Oh, here we are. I don't see an issue with her asking you to pay. There you are. Yeah, see, it's when you go down. Somebody else who says it was a red flag meeting her at the grocery store. Another person says these comments are wild. See, so somebody else who says these comments are very disappointing. As women, are we not supposed to pay for anything? You absolutely weren't wrong. The heck. So most people agree. There's a few of the people here who are actually saying that she was in the right. Sorry that happened. That was some shady mess. Yeah. Bunch of broke chicks. And then she'll have the nerve, right, to go call her friends up and say, you won't believe what this man just did. If you're broke, just say that. Listen, as always, to my engaged or soon-to-be married men, head over to fathershaverights.com and access the #1 guide to drafting solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. With offer code REVIEW, you get 100% free. Appreciate you guys. Comment down below your thoughts. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.